All right, welcome back, listeners. We've made it to another week. It's episode 25. I thought it was episode 24, but it's episode 25 in Arts and Crimes.
Woo!
I'm your host, Kelly.
I'm Josh.
I'm Brandon.
We did it! That was so good. We're back for episode... I thought it was 24 because I accidentally labeled both King Arthur episodes as 23.
23 and 23.5.
Yeah, no, I just did 23 and 23. So today I went back in and I switched it. So now the second part says 24, but for a hot second, if you were one of the elite, you saw it as 23 and 23. Not the first time I've done that, but
that's going to become some kind of internal joke.
Yeah, I was there for episode 23.
23 and 23, yeah.
Going to have a tattoo of 223s.
23,
the real believers.
The real ones know. So yeah. Anyways, so this week I tried really hard to make the episode not be long. So I only have 4 pages of notes instead of 6 to 8.
Excellent.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
But first, how you guys this week?
Week.
This is... Who was it? You that told me this is Mom's favorite part?
Yeah, this is Mom's favorite part. Like, we really don't need to do any research.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We could just send her this snippet and be like, here's the new episode.
That is Brandon's competing podcast. It's just
a 45-minute week check.
Yeah. Anyway, Brandon, I feel like you've got something on your mind.
He wants to tell us how he did with caramel.
Last episode,
he's been keeping a running tally.
Last episode, you asked me what my week check was, and I totally blanked. I didn't have anything. So this time, I took notes when I was just like walking around or mowing the lawn, and I thought, oh, that's a thought I could share. I put it down. So I've got 4 thoughts.
Oh, is this like a healthy thing? Like,
I don't know.
Look what we've discovered, where you're like more present in
more
your week.
introspective.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Try it out,
I'm
listeners.
learning things about myself,
Yeah.
really. So I'm going to share the 4 things. You can cut whatever you want. You can keep all 4.
Well, you've
which
said
is
4
a lot
now,
of talking.
so many times that if you only say 2 or 3 things, be like, oh. He doesn't know how to count.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, first one, I felt like listening. Okay, I had some music come up, and it was interesting because you talked to me, Josh. I'm pointing at Josh. You talked to me about grunge, right? And on the way home from vacation, I listened to some 90s dad rock or whatever, and
that's what the kids are calling it these days.
Toadies came on.
Oh, I love
Possum
the Toadies.
Kingdom, right?
I wouldn't call that dad rock.
Well,
the youths.
I guess any rock from the 90s is dad rock.
And I enjoy that rock music, so I'm afraid that it's become dad rock. I don't know.
My students, multiple times, I had students and they were like, oh man, this is such a great dad rock playlist. And I was like, it's just a playlist, man.
So, Possum Kingdom, right? Great song.
So fun to play on guitar too.
Yeah?
That is one of my go-tos every time I pick up my guitar and end up playing it. It's just fun. It's like an easy little one.
I should learn it. And then later in my time or whatever, I was like, you know what I feel like listening to is How's It Gonna Be by Third Eye Blind. And I can only listen to so much Third Eye Blind because it's my...
breakup music.
It's my breakup music, yeah. Put that album on when I'm ready to break up with whoever I'm in love with.
It's time to cry.
But so what happened was I was listening to that music, I was singing along, having a good time, and I realized this song doesn't rhyme very much. And I thought about it, neither does Possum Kingdom. There's like almost no rhymes in it. But both of those songs work really well. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you, as like my most musical person in my life, like, what's up with that? Like, it seems like a lot, if not most, music rhymes.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
It's called free verse.
Yes, it is called free verse. I feel like the person I associate with the most is Incubus.
Okay.
Tends to do a lot of free verse. Yeah. So, and I think then it's more about the rhythm, right, of the words as opposed to like the actual rhyming. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I think free verse sounds fantastic if you do it right.
I think the last little modifier you added there is important, though. Like, I don't think everybody can do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just was a...
That's interesting, though.
Yeah. Okay. I got a bread machine. That happened.
Ooh, a fancy one?
I don't know if it's fancy. It's the Amazon Basics, so probably not.
Okay, yeah.
But it still does
The word basic is in it.
put the ingredients in, turn it
And it
on,
does
breads
everything.
later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
In fact, I brought a loaf.
We're going to try it
us
after
to
the
try.
pod.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should
And
try
in
it
two-
during the pod.
Oh, we
and
should.
judge it.
Shush. I'm going to go cut some right now.
Should I keep going? What's happening? Is this paused? All right.
So we've got a big thing with just a plate. I feel like I'm in Beauty and the Beast. Cross some bread, cross some water,
Yeah.
and no singing. All right. Is this freshly made? When was this
It's
made?
warm.
First off.
Yeah. It came out at like 1:30.
All right. An interesting nutty crust with a hint of. I'm getting. Oh yes, wheat there, wheat flour. Yeast, touch of yeast.
It's giving honey.
Ah, honey. Yes, that was. I couldn't quite put my finger upon it. And now we've become an ASMR podcast because we're all just going to be chewing loudly.
I'm going to cut all that chewing. I did put jam.
We're going to open a whole new fan base.
I did put jam on one half.
I think it's pretty good. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's good too.
What percentage wheat versus white is this?
Okay, so it is percentages. I don't know. Break it down yourself when I give you the measurements.
Okay.
So it's a 3.5 cups of flour bread. 2 cups are wheat flour that I've ground myself.
Oh, fancy.
And then
With a mortar and pestle? Or like one of those big rocks with a donkey?
unfortunately, no. I just have children, no donkeys.
That you tie to the big rocks? and
So
they go
yeah,
around
I just
around.
have them
Okay.
running in a circle.
Like they would.
Actually, I'm using Mom and Dad years ago gave me one of their Blendtec.
Yeah, the thing that sounds like a jet engine taking off?
Yes.
You don't, yeah.
And
You can't
then
miss
and
that.
then it's a cup. So the other
it's
remaining
like-
cup and a half is bread flour.
So it's about 2/3 wheat.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think it's good.
Yeah, it's yummy. I like it.
It's like fluffy.
It needs Irish butter.
Yeah, I didn't have any, sorry.
Probably does.
I didn't have any butter melted, so it's just, you didn't even get butter.
This podcast brought to you by Kerrygold. Only the finest Irish butter.
Please sponsor us so Josh can...
They're always after me, lucky butter.
Anyway, I really like the bread machine. I love having homemade bread in the house, but it's so much work to like mix it. And you want to do like a big batch because you don't want to be doing this every day. So you can get your big bread mixer, and it's such a pain to clean and everything. And at one time, Rochelle explained to me all the steps. Like she was like,
For her sourdough?
I'm doing sourdough. I have a starter, and I was like,
Oh my gosh.
well, maybe you can teach me how to do that or whatever. And she, like, after 5 minutes of her instructions, I was just like, I'm never doing this.
You made it further than me. Because she was telling me about it. She's like, I named my starter, and I was like, I'm not interested.
What did you find out the name?
Yeah.
What's the starter named?
Something with an A.
Are you kidding me?
It's like,
Alvin.
it's a
Alma.
Greek name or something.
Antioch.
Artemis.
Aristotle. Ooh, Aristotle the starter.
That would be really good. Hold on. Artemis.
Artemis. What did I say?
It's not Greek. Is it Greek?
Artemis?
You said Aristarter.
No.
He
He
said
said
that.
Aristotle. I said Aristarter. But before that, I said something. I thought I said
Optimus Prime.
Artemis. You'll have to go
You
back
might
to the
have said
recording.
right. Yes.
Yeah, you might have got it right. Artemis is correct.
Go back to the tapes.
All right.
Yeah.
Third weekly check-in
That was
item.
only two.
Those two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Right?
We're halfway done.
I felt that hiccup coming.
I said the word caramel.
Dang it.
Yeah. I
Not
feel,
caramel.
No.
You failed.
I didn't. I fixed it, but I did say it. And then my last weekly thought was that I am really invested in this weekly check-in.
We're getting really meta with this check-in.
And, well, so the reason that this thought stuck out to me this week was because I'm like getting my things so that I make sure I have something to say. I'm throwing stuff that's about me out there into the ether. And I'm like, this is my first real foray into social media.
It's media, and he's being social.
Yeah, well, right? Like, that's what Facebook is just you putting out stuff about yourself, hoping that people think you're interesting. And here I am, throwing crap out about myself, hoping
That's not what Facebook is.
That's what
Facebook is, let me look up everyone I went to high school with to see who I'm better than now.
That feels more accurate.
Okay, I guess there's two different ways to use Facebook. Because there's people, like, the people that I don't care for are the ones who just constantly push their stuff. Like, look at my burrito, look at my vacation, look at my children.
Look at the burrito I ate with my children on my vacation.
Yeah. And I'm just like,
That was
look.
a challenge, and Josh picked it up.
And then I suppose there are the stalkers or whatever, the people that...
We prefer the term lurkers.
No matter what, I guess, social media is about seeking validation. And
yeah, that's true.
I am here for validation.
You get validated right here in the room from us.
Yeah,
I do.
That's really it.
Which is why I don't actually look for I just throw this stuff out there and then I'm like, yeah.
That was good. You know what was exciting that I did? And then I made Josh and his wife go watch was the new Jurassic movie. That happened, right? Yeah, within the last couple weeks.
You made them go watch it?
Well, I didn't make them.
We had no choice.
Yeah, no.
We were like, we're eating dinner, and she's like, get out of here.
Get out! Yeah. So I had not heard good reviews about it. So I was like, oh, good. Maybe I'll get alone time in the theater. I kind of love it when movies bomb a little bit. Because then I don't have to wait to get alone time in the theater. You just pick the right times and the right days. And I did. And I went and I was all by myself in the theater. I had the whole theater to myself. And I was like messaging Josh through the film where there's like at the very beginning, one of the main characters is chewing his Altoids. And I was like, so far, most unrealistic thing about the film. Choose Altoids.
And they also did like a really egregious sound effect.
Yeah. Oh, so
It wasn't
loud.
like a little like crunch, crunch. It was like chomp, 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 and then 30 seconds, then chomp, chomp.
Like more, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed having the theater to myself. And so that while I was watching, I could like, don't go in the long grass, girl, get out of that long grass. And then they were fine. That scene stressed me out. And they just all walked around in the long grass like it wasn't a thing. And there was no raptors.
Yeah. For those that are unfamiliar with the Jurassic Park oeuvre, how do you say that word?
Oeuvre?
Oeuvre.
Are you saying work?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like O-U-V-R-E.
Yeah, oeuvre.
But that's a word that means like the entirety of the universe.
Okay.
And it's pronounced oeuvre.
Nailed it.
In one of the Jurassic Park
I was like
movies,
concerned for you for a second.
not the first one. I think it's the second or the third. I forget which
Yeah,
one.
one of those two.
There's tall grass, and they go, don't go into the tall grass. And then they do anyway, and then some dinos eat them.
Yep.
And so this time, there was a bunch of tall grass, and every single person in the audience was going, don't go into the tall grass. And they were like, this tall grass looks lovely. And they just went in and had a fun time, and nothing bad happened.
Yeah. They're like, the stressful part is that we put long grass.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's just a reference to long grass.
Yeah.
They're really not putting the effort into their callbacks.
Yeah, they're like, remember
They're
this?
like, there's dinos in this one. That's a callback.
Oh, man. So anyways, yeah. And I did a bunch of other stuff, but I'm just sharing the dinosaurs. Because now I want to hear about Josh's week. Other than that, I made him and his wife go to see the same movie.
Okay, so I went and saw this movie, Jurassic World Rebirth. All right. There was a scene with long grass in it. No, I don't really have anything. It's been just kind of lots going on, but nothing too crazy. I'm putting together a playhouse for my children out of a playhouse kit with wood and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And that was fun. And then the kids were like, Dad, can we, use the screwdriver and stuff. And I was like, no, you'll screw it up. And then I was like, all right, fine. And then I was teaching them stuff. I was like, oh, I feel like my dad all of a sudden. Like, come over here. Here's how you measure things with the measuring tape. Here's what you do to safely use a screwdriver or an electric drill or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway.
You know, I think that Dad was way more patient than I gave him credit for.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I'm like, it'll be easier if I just do it.
I agree with that. Like, because I literally did that. And then finally I was like, all right, guys, let's do it. And then I was like, the whole time. And they were like, oops, I punctured something. I'm like, I knew you would. Should have just done this myself. At least they didn't puncture themselves. Anyway, so yes, Dad was more of a saint than I realized.
All right, so weeks in, weeks done, weeks talked about. We're going to talk about the lost colony of Roanoke. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, so I thought it was interesting because it's something that sort of evoked a lot of, I mean, we just like mysteries a lot. Mm-hmm. And there's always this idea of like, what dastardly deeds were done to make this entire colony go missing without a trace? And, yeah, correct. Thank you. And as I was, I have my opinion that I'm going to save to the end of what I think.
That it was Sasquatch.
That it was Sasquatch.
Was the colony completely surrounded by tall grass?
Look, you gave it away. We can
was raptors.
close up the pod forever. No, it was not, surprisingly, surrounded by tall grass. But let's start just a little bit before the colony. Here's some notes that I forgot to tell you. I looked up the history behind the word aggravate, because last time you were like, is Agravain, the knight Agravain, related to aggravate? I take all of your questions seriously, and it is not related.
Oh, good.
The word aggravate originates from the Latin word aggravare, which means to make heavy or to burden. And the name Agravain has a distinct origin and is rooted in Arthurian legends only. And so even though Agravain can be aggravating, they are not related words.
I wish I remembered why I asked that question.
Because you were so surprised that Odysseus and Odyssey
were
that's
right. That's right.
So aggravating.
Well, it was the foolishest question because it wasn't a Greek origin name. Agravain was Arthurian.
Yes.
So, yeah.
At any rate,
I don't know. It could have been like the Arthurian legends. It could have been added. When they're like, it's Arthurian, all that means is we don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
So it could have been added later by some Latin guy who was like, how? Because he's so aggravating, I'm going to aggravate.
It's really true because, like, we don't know. But no, the word aggravate comes from a different place.
It does sound to me a little bit like some kind of herb you would put in a tea to make it more aggravating.
True.
I feel like that there's probably a herb that sounds similar to that. It's like on the tip of my tongue, but I cannot spend more time on it.
Vervain. It's what you use to keep vampires away.
That's what it is. Yeah. Thank you, Josh.
What is that from?
Vampire
Diaries.
That's why I didn't know it.
I'm a super fan. Listen, Team Edward all the way.
You just switched. I'm sorry. I am married to my wife, so I am an expert on vampire shows. Uh-huh. And that's Twilight is Team Edward. Vervain is in Vampire Diaries.
Oh, and that's Team...
You just gave yourself away.
Team Coraline. What's her name?
Coraline? The puppet?
No. What's the lady from...
Penelope.
Princess... What is it?
Vampire Diaries.
Elena?
Where am I getting Coraline?
I was going to say Elizabeth.
I mean, Coraline is in that stop-motion puppet show.
Is there a Caroline?
Caroline, yes. There is a Caroline.
In
yes.
Princess...
Vampire Diaries. Listen, we can see what shows you watch if you keep trying to say Princess Diaries.
Listen, everybody loves Anne Hathaway. She's a national treasure.
It's not a vampire show, though.
Yes, it is. If you watch it.
Read between the lines.
Yeah. There's a subtext there about vampires. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Before before Roanoke, in 1584, we're going to talk about a previous expedition because it's important.
Okay.
Which I didn't know. Actually, to be fair, I didn't know most of this stuff because I didn't really care a lot about. I didn't really care a lot about Roanoke. I just knew that they were lost. So,
now you really care.
What?
Go ahead.
Now you really care is what he said. Continue.
I do. So, before the Roanoke colony is lost in 1584, after they determined that was a good area to go to, they sent out a previous expedition that had like 600 soldiers. 600, something like that.
Soldiers.
600 soldiers and sailors, and they left from England to the outer banks of. It's a good thing I only have 4 pages of notes.
It really is. What's the law where a gas will expand to fill whatever volume it's in? Is that Mole's law?
It could be. I don't know.
The podcast will always expand to fill 2 hours.
Yeah. Anyways, so they set off for America. So it was 7 English vessels that housed all of these guys, and it was under the command of Sir Richard Grenville. And the fleet, on its way, encountered a storm in the Atlantic, and it damaged some of the ships. It destroyed one of them, so they were forced to stop in Puerto Rico for repairs, which delayed the vessels that were supposed to be headed out to Roanoke. The stop in Puerto Rico, however, really upset the other guy that was in charge, Ralph Lane, because Sir Richard Grenville was not just stopping for repairs. Conveniently, there was privateering going on. And Ralph Lane, so Lane was really upset about it because he was like, we have to get there before the winter.
It is Avogadro's law. Thank you, Brandon.
You're welcome.
He's like, we have to get there before winter because we need to prepare. Obviously, we're setting up a colony and we need to get there. And Greenville was like, well, get there when we get there. So they took off.
He sounds so sassy.
He really was. That's how I imagine him. And so as they were approaching, do you remember the Ocracoke area? I know we've talked about it because it's where Blackbeard had his final stand. That's where
Yes, I remember it.
Yeah, the Ocracoke area.
The Ocracoke. Good old Ocracoke.
So.
Because it's the only place where you can get okra flavored Coca-Cola. It's called Ocracoke.
I wish
and it
that were
is
facts.
disgusting.
You say things so convictedly that I want to believe them. It's not real. And you should.
Except it's slimy.
Did you know that lemon Coca-Cola doesn't exist in the United States, but it does in Britain?
Oh.
We're really missing out.
But where can you get okra flavored Coca-Cola?
I don't know.
Only an Ocracoke. Have you ever had okra?
I feel like I probably have at some point, but I don't know what it tastes like. If you wanted me to describe it, I have no idea.
In Brazil, where I was, one of the regional dishes that everyone loved was frango com quiabo, which is okra and chicken. And they would always be like, guys, we made frango com quiabo for you. And they were so excited, and I hated it. And so they would always be like, hooray, frango com quiabo. And I was like, oh, boy, I sure love slimy green beans.
Aww.
And you never grew to love it?
No,
That's funny.
I grew to hate it ever more. I would just eat the chicken around it.
So in France, whenever I had a meal with anybody, they just assumed that because I was American, I loved Coca-Cola. Mm-hmm. And, I came to France hating Coca-Cola. Like, definitely not my pick if I had a choice between other sodas. And after a couple of years of everybody, oh, American, here's some Coca-Cola. Yeah, it's my favorite soda now.
That's funny.
2 very different experiences.
Yes. I did have that experience with some things. Like flan.
Yeah.
I hated it when I got there, and by the end I was like, oh, give me that flan.
Give me that flan, baby.
Yeah, it's a euphemism. The flan is the part of the body. I'm just kidding.
Oh Okay, so
You were
an Ocracoke.
you were saying about Ocracoke.
I cannot believe we got the flan as a euphemism from Ocracoke.
Oh man. Yeah, you guys have skills.
Or mental disabilities.
His thing about the gas, though, is so true. Like, I feel no pressure to make sure you get through your stuff.
Because you know it's less.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, sorry. We were talking about Ocracoke, the finest Coca-Cola flavor.
But before it was the finest Coca-Cola flavor, it was and is a location that is dangerous because one of the ships, the Tiger, or Tiger, as it's normally said.
Tiger. Birdie.
The Tiger took damage, and the problem with the Tiger in specific taking damage is that it was the one holding most of their supplies. So most of their food, most of their supplies. And so as they got there, they were like, well, we're going to have to survive on agriculture. And then they realized very quickly after getting there that they were not going to survive on agriculture. Just wasn't the greatest location for it. They didn't have anything to agriculture. So they just, it just didn't go over well. So then they were like, okay, we're going to have to rely on the native tribes to help us out. And then they were like, we aren't going to be able to do that because we pick fights with them. And so what happened was the diseases that they brought with them were killing the Native Americans in the area. And so the Native Americans were like, don't talk to us, you're killing us. And they're like, but we need your food. And then the leader, Lane, who became more and more paranoid as their time there increased.
Ocracoke will do that to you.
Anyways, he overheard that they were going to cease doing trade, like food trade with them. And he was like, that'll make us have to go out in smaller, easier to kill groups. So to solve this problem, he preemptively assassinated the chieftain. Okay. Which, surprisingly, didn't go over well.
They weren't crazy about that.
Yeah, they weren't in love with it. So, about a year of this, constant fighting, bad agriculture, no supplies. They couldn't get all of the, forging equipment set up that they had meant to. Sir Francis Drake shows up, and they're like, take us home! So they got on the boat, and they left.
You know what I know about Sir Francis Drake?
There's a video game with a tie to it.
The Spanish all despise him.
Uh-huh.
But to the British, he's a hero.
And they idolize him.
Yeah, I learned that.
That's a good factoid.
Anyways, so the hero, Sir Francis Drake, collected them up into his little boat.
Or villain.
Or whichever side. And they all returned to England. And Ralph Lane would never return to North America, which was probably
for the best.
Yeah, probably a good thing.
Yeah. What were his accomplishments?
Murder.
Almost getting his men killed, wiping out a tribe with infectious diseases, and then when they naturally aren't crazy about it, murdering their chief just in case.
Yeah, yeah, not a great list of achievements. So yeah, he didn't come back, and nobody was sad about it. But less than a year after that, Sir Walter Raleigh wanted to send men to go bolster up that area where Lane had been, because it had reports of being a potentially successful area to establish, the English hold there in the Americas. So he sent about 115, somewhere around 115, 118 men, women, and children. Sorry.
So is that 115 men plus their women and children, or is that 115 total?
115 total. Okay. And some say it's 118. It was mostly men because they were anticipating having to do a lot of building and, they needed protection and that kind of stuff. But they did want to make it an established colony, so it included women and children. And they took off with that small group, anticipating that later they would bring more people to it.
Or they heard they're super popular with the natives.
Yeah,
and they were like,
Lane was like, it went really well.
yeah,
They loved us.
Just go over there. Tell him I sent you.
Yeah.
He's getting his revenge. Tell him Laney sent you. And give him the old Laney special. That's where you give them smallpox and then kill their chief.
Oh, that's sad. Probably accurate.
Yeah, it is sad and accurate.
Yes. So, Sir Walter Raleigh, who, again, was expecting to send people to, like, build up the area, so there'd be, like, more people, and they would, you know, send people after the thing got started, but after this first complication with everything going poorly with Lane and all of the men leaving, I think they left, like, 12 men or something. Very small. But it was not what Walter Raleigh thought he would be bolstering. It seemed like it was just kind of one thing after the next that did not go well for this group. Sir Walter Raleigh, he was determined to send these people out, even though after Lane got back, he started losing some investors, but he'd already invested like $30,000, which was a lot back then. Mm-hmm. And so he wasn't going to let it go. So he had John White as the leader and mayor of the group, and sent them out to go to, they were actually supposed to go to Chesapeake Bay, is where they were anticipated to go. And so they take off towards Chesapeake Bay, and their plan was to just stop at Roanoke Island for provisions and then to grab the rest of their stuff and continue on.
Point of query.
Mm-hmm.
Roanoke?
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 Mm-hmm.
What's Ocracoke?
Ocracoke is a water location. It's like a bay or something. It's a location that's also in the same area.
So, and if you combine the two, you get Roanoke Coke. Say it 5 times fast. Say it 1 time fast. Roanoke Coke.
Roanoke Coke.
Okay.
Hey,
I got it.
do it right.
Roanoke Coke.
You're so close.
Pretty good.
Thanks for giving me a pretty good.
So Roanoke is a little island that is like off the mainland. So It's not actually part of the mainland. And it's shaped like an oval, and it's the like northern tip of the oval. It's like an oval on the slant, but the northern tip of the oval is where they are assuming they created the Roanoke colony. Roanoke colony. So, there you go. Anyways, so they get in their ship, they take off with their peeps, and they get there, and they are later than they anticipated that they were going to be, but they got there. And when they land on Roanoke to just like, you know, resupply with the men that were supposed to be left there, which was like, you know, 12 or whatever, the captain of the ship, Simon Fernandez, was like, everybody out. I'm not going any further. And they were like, we're supposed to go to Chesapeake Bay. And he was like, and I'm supposed to be home by now. And I get off the ship. And
another sassy captain.
Yeah. And so he kicked them all off and made them all get off at Roanoke. And then he went back to England. So he dropped them where they were not supposed to be.
Do you know how much further Chesapeake Bay was?
I don't know. Let's Google it. About 230 to 270 miles.
Mm-hmm.
So, a bit of a boat journey.
Yeah, I don't know how fast boats were in those days, but
Not crazy fast.
probably a few days, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And he cited his reasoning was that it had taken a long time and that summer was coming to an end and he needed to get back to England before. Since the colonists were stuck, they got to work rebuilding and kind of refurbishing the fortifications and the dwellings that were already left by that 1585 expedition. And they were making pretty good progress for the amount of people in the group that it was. The leader, John White, however, was aware that they were not going to make it through the winter And so he wanted to try and get everybody to Chesapeake Bay before the winter time because it was going to be difficult to survive the winter with the provisions that they had.
So was there already a colony or whatever at Chesapeake Bay?
That was, I think, the idea was that there was more people there or that it was a safer, better place, because an additional issue was that the Native Americans in the area were not happy that more colonists came. Mm-hmm. And so, in fact, they were so unhappy that they ambushed some of the scouts and they killed one of the guys pretty quickly. So I think that was also part of the issue, was White saw that not only was it not as established as he had been told it would be, but that the animosity with the local tribes was far more of an issue than he had anticipated.
That crafty Lane.
Yeah, Lane gets him again. So
I feel like we should clarify that all the Lane stuff we said was made up about him telling them to go find native wives.
Native wives?
That was
remember
his
the
joke.
old Lane special. tell him Laney sent you.
I thought the Lane special was give them disease and kill our chief.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. That's the Lane special.
So, additionally, because there was a guy that got ambushed and killed, White set up his own ambush and accidentally attacked the wrong tribe. And so caused further issues with tribes because he ambushed the wrong tribe.
Should have set the ambush up at a toll booth.
Yeah. Well, ask.
For our newer listeners, that's a callback to The Godfather when they set up an ambush at a toll booth. And Brandon was like,
it.
That wouldn't happen. And we were like, I don't know, man, maybe. This has been Clarifying Jokes with Josh. Joke Man.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Joke Man.
You're welcome.
Oh, man. So, anyways, so despite all this, the colonists were still trying to do their best. And as the first documented child born in the New World was John White's own daughter had a baby while she was on the island in Roanoke. Not from John White. It's her husband and her. And they named the daughter Virginia Dare. So I think Dare is their last name. Not like Dare to be Virginia.
Oh.
But, I mean, they're in Virginia, right? North Carolina, they're over by there. It's in the area. It's all the South.
Roanoke is in Virginia.
There you go.
I appreciate that bit of knowledge.
As is Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah, well, so when we started talking about Roanoke and stuff, I was just like, well, where is this? The Caribbean? I don't know. And then you said Chesapeake Bay, and I was like, how far is it from Chesapeake Bay?
Trying to get context clues.
When you said Chesapeake Bay, for some reason I thought of Hudson Bay, way up in Canada. And I was like, that's a long ways away. He saved some real time.
Well, I mean, he saved some time, just not
Different
Hudson Bay. Yeah. So, there's that success there. And she's documented. But then, after about a month, they're there for like a month, when John White is like, I think maybe somebody needs to go back and get supplies. And in his documents, because he's the only one that we know of that lives, is...
Oh, that's ominous.
Yeah, there you go. I'm saying that we know of. Anyway, so it's all based on what he says, and what he says is that they made him go. Like, they wouldn't let anybody else go. They made him go.
They sent the mayor back.
The only leader, and he was like, I was reluctant because I'm the only person with leader experience, but they made me go. So
he was like, no, guys, I was looking forward to a winter full of eating beets and starving slowly in a cold cabin.
Yeah,
but if you insist...
Yep.
I'll go back on this warm ship to Mother England.
To England. And things got worse for the colony there, but maybe better for White. I don't know. I'm sure he was very upset to leave his granddaughter and his daughter and whatever. But as soon as he got back to England, the Queen instigated a no vessels get to leave rule because she was worried about the Spanish Armada attacking. And so for 3 years, he could not go back with supplies for Roanoke.
I feel bad.
Yeah, we gave him crap, but
he gets real stuck.
That, like, if he really was trying to get back with supplies as quick as he could to save his granddaughter and family and stuff, like,
yeah,
that does suck.
Sucks hugely.
Mr. White, we apologize.
So he gets.
I know he's a listener.
Yeah,
I know he's a fan of the pod.
However, like, luckily they did set up some like fail safes. So before they left, some of the colonists agreed that they would, if they had to leave, if they had to go somewhere, they would carve their destination into the trees and stuff around so that he would know where they went. Because again, they were pretty sure they weren't going to make it there. And so that was the game plan. And after 3 years, he returns. So on August 18th of 1950, White and his men made it back to the Roanoke colonists area, and there was no signs of life. There was no signs of a struggle. And there wasn't any kind of indication that it was a quick exit. But there was a lot of stuff like left. Just like the settlement was just there. And there was 2 different things carved into, one was carved into the palisade, which was the word Croatoan. And then on a tree, the word CRO. So just the letters CRO. So Crow and then Croatoan. Like, maybe one person got it all the way and was like, I already finished it. And the other person stopped. I don't know. But Crow and Croatoan were carved there. And so White was like, okay, they must have gone to the island of the area where the Croatoan people are at. Because there was a tribe of Croatoans, which were known to be some of the most, like, amiable towards the English settlers. And so, and it wasn't too crazy far. And so he really thought that was probably what they meant. Either they're headed in the direction of Croatoan or they're going to the Croatoans. So he gets up on his boat and they take off, and a massive storm hits and the boat cannot make it to Croatoan and has to return to England. So he is sent back once again and cannot ever get back to the New World. He never gets back to see if he can find them after that.
That is wild to me that there was a big storm and they were like, all right, guys, I guess we better go all the way across the ocean to be safe from this storm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, you think you just go away for a little bit or like anchor somewhere else for a bit and come back? But maybe it was like, I mean, it's August, so maybe they're like, it's only going to get worse, you know? But I guess my other thought is, like, you could have just gone the next summer. I mean, you missed 3 years. Why not?
They sent him all the way back to foggy London town.
Yeah, and he never comes back. But there's a couple things. So from there, we're basically like, we have no idea what happened to these people. We don't have any record of them making it anywhere. And we don't have any, like, sign that they, you know, like, they didn't make themselves known in any way. So we're not, it just was like this big mystery. We're like, we lost this colony. We have no idea where any of them are, which I'm sure had to be hard for John White because that was his daughter and his granddaughter at the very least. Yeah. So over the years, it's sort of become this greater and greater mystery, and people have a lot of different theories and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go through some of the theories and some of the information that we have. And then I'll tell you some of the breakthroughs that happened in 2025.
Woo! That's this year.
Yeah, I had no idea, but it was like 2 months ago that they had some information.
This was perfectly timed.
Yeah, it really was. One of the theories was that people were digging in the wrong spot, because we are more or less guesstimating where the actual Roanoke colony was at. And we're guessing because I think mostly because of where the trees and stuff were, where the words were carved in the trees. And I don't know if they were still there in any way later. And we're also basing it off of the description that John White has in his writings. And also there is a really good map that John White created that is still incredibly accurate. But I'll get to that map in a second. So the first thing is there's some people that think that we were digging in the wrong spot to try and find evidence of what happened to these people. And there was a whole group of like archaeological Roanokeans that were digging, like if we're looking at the oval that is the island Roanoke, instead of the northern tip, they were looking towards the middle. And it's a pretty sandy island.
Okay.
So their theory was that the colonists had actually started the colony much further out, but erosion and raising sea levels had covered where they were. And so they were like out in the water digging up with like shovels and trying to find evidence. And they were actually finding quite a bit of like broken pottery that was from like the 1600s. But Roanoke is before the 1600s, so they weren't finding the evidence that they necessarily needed, but there are some promising things there. And then the other thing, the other like mystery is John White's map. And what's famous and mysterious about it is in a section of the map, just like to the north, never eat shredded wheat, west, to the northwest of the Roanoke Island, like if you follow the river there, there was a little spot that you could see that he had covered with paper. Like it was a mistake or something and he'd covered it and then continued on. Well, I watched this documentary and I love how they said it. They're like, with modern technology, we were able to see what was underneath. And then they're like, so we put a light underneath it. And I just thought that was amazing. But if you shine a light underneath it,
with the astounding invention of the overhead projector.
Yeah, pretty much. You can see that he had drawn what looks like a square shaped kind of fort there, but then he had covered it with paper, and people were like, why did he do that? And the map is incredibly accurate. So they're like, why would he have this? They were like, why would he cover up this mysterious fort? And did the people go to this mysterious fort? Which they started digging in that area, and they actually found stuff that could be attributed to colonizers, like 1600s time frame. And they were like, why was it covered? And I just have to say this, just as like an artist, it was a mistake. Like he just wanted to cover it because it was a mistake. The fact that there's stuff there could mean a lot of things. But the stuff that they're digging up generally is from the 1600s. And so it could be, later, but there's no real indication that the Roanokeans were there. Anyways, so there was this kind of mystery about the Site X on John White's map. And the findings with John White's map as well. And then, so this is, more modern archaeological stuff that we're doing. They went to the Croatoan area and they were digging there. And they also found stuff that would indicate colonizer presence. So, I forget what it's called. It's like slag from when you're doing forging work is slag. Okay. Yeah. So they found slag, which was a definite sign of colonizers because the Native Americans didn't use that material.
Method for forging.
And there was pottery and glass beads and that kind of stuff. Which for me, and they found that at both Site X and at the Croatoan area, like where the Croatoan natives had lived. And I think the reason why none of it was as definitive as we would like it to be, and this is just kind of what it seemed like from all of the archaeological commentary that I read as well. The problem is that a lot of trade was happening with natives. Mm-hmm. And so like glass beads and pottery and that kind of stuff wasn't as good of a like solid indicator that it was colonizers because they were trading. Yeah. So that could have just been Native American stuff. But the slag is a really good one because it's not necessarily something that you would be trading with the natives. And so there just wasn't a lot of information about where they could have gone because we didn't have any results of their existence, if that makes sense. So then in 2025 is when we start getting that confirmed information. And they started trying to do this sooner, but we're getting enough of it in 2025. What they started doing, and this is what I found very interesting, is first they started to pay attention to the like oral traditions of the people in the area of where the Croatoans were at, which said that a lot of the Croatoans married white men because that tribe started having like gray-eyed babies and lighter-haired babies and all that kind of stuff. And so then some scientists went in and they found that a lot of these last names that were prominent in the area were some of the same last names as some of the people that were in that first colonized party, that 115-ish people. And so what they started doing, because it was mostly men that went, is they went and they would get the DNA from volunteers and follow their male line to see if you go back and you have both Croatoan and English ancestry. And they found that many of them did, especially the ones with the last name that related to people from Croatoa or from the colonies. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of all the information that was given. And so I think they're hesitant, and this is funny because I was reading it, and they're very hesitant to say any kind of definitive answer because the like mystery and the like allure of this story is so ingrained in our American history that I think they're a little chagrined to like dispel it a little bit. But I'm curious, after like hearing everything, what do you guys think?
I guess it's interesting that they don't want, like, that they're hesitant to dispel it because mm-hmm. I think like it still ends up being, it's a happy ending.
Yeah.
If you can say like, well, here's how it worked. And so I don't know. I don't feel like there's anything lost with the idea that the Croatoans took them in and, that they survived and that, John White, we kind of teased him for heading back to England.
He was tuzzed.
Yeah. You've been
He done got tuzzed.
Quick joke, man. What's that about?
Several episodes ago, somebody said something about getting tuzzed, and now it keeps coming up.
It were you.
It were me? It were me hearty.
Did you know that the pirate accent just came from that first guy that acted?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was just doing his thing.
He was just doing his own accent, and that's why that's the
not
pirate
a real
accent.
Historical pirate accent?
Nope. Pirates probably didn't sound like that at all.
Oh, no.
Just letting you know.
Boring.
Anyways.
Anyway.
I think it's, nice that John White, rest his soul or whatever.
No, he's a listener. We are.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Listen, John, did you hear?
They found your family.
Your family
probably got great grandchildren around.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess those people who thought that they were abducted by aliens are probably sad.
I forgot to include, that was an actual theory.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I forgot to include it because it's outrageous, but I should have. People thought they were abducted by aliens.
When somebody disappears, that's always an option. I don't think that it...
I feel like I'm glad that we have some like evidences that we're like, hey, these people didn't just all die. Like, it's nice that they lived. But I also think like all of it makes absolute sense. Like, it shouldn't have been that big of a mystery for that long anyways. But like there was the game plan, write down where you're going, and they did that, and then that's where they went. And then like people were so surprised when we couldn't find them, but it turns out they were right where they said they were going.
Fair point.
It's funny that people kind of like mystery.
Yeah.
Like, because the story of they said they were going to go, if they went somewhere, they'd write it down, and they wrote something down, and there just happened to be a bunch of little white babies running around, like half-white babies, I guess. Like, that's not as interesting as like, but what if they disappeared? What if it was aliens? What if it was a Spanish conquistador? Or whatever.
Yep. I feel like that's so accurate. Like the story is more about how we love enduring mysteries.
Yeah.
And more than anything else. Like we just can't help it.
Yeah.
Because the answer I feel like was there the whole time. And maybe that's why John didn't bother coming back.
It was staring us in the face because someone wrote Croatoa on the thing. If only we'd looked at the thing that they wrote. It, like, I don't know. It is still funny that like nobody returned, but like maybe they just were happy. They were like, "Oh yeah, we like our new lives."
Yeah.
Turns out the natives are cooler than the English.
Yeah. Well, and they were like known as just like the most pleasant, most accepting. And like the historians that talk about it a little bit, they're like, it's a little sad because the natives lost quite a bit of their culture to accept in a lot of these colonizers, and colonizers in turn sacrificed some of their culture too. And so like, I don't know what made the tribe and the colony, like, I don't know what made that recipe work out so well when everywhere else it really just didn't. But it does feel like a happy ending almost, you know?
This was the inspiration for the movie Dances with Wolves.
Is that real or are you just saying that?
I'm just saying it.
That's what I thought.
Thanks for calling it out right away.
I wanted to be so excited, and then I was like, no, Brandon and Josh are here.
No need to be excited.
You have now learned the same lesson my children have.
Oh, man.
So yeah, that's the mystery and the solve.
We solved it here first, folks. Definitively answered.
We're willing to like definitively say.
Yeah,
we'll dispel.
We did it for Sasquatch.
Yep.
We're doing it for these guys.
Next, we're really gonna find Caravaggio's bones.
Yeah. So another art mystery solved by Arts and Crimes.
By the Art Boys.
Yeah, the art in this case was that when they spelled Croatoan on the thing, it was very well done.
Yeah.
The calligraphy was excellent.
Well, also the whole mystery with the map.
Oh, that's true.
Map mystery.
Is a map art?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It certainly could be.
But
look at it. There's a little boat on there. There's 3 little boats on there.
Those are indicators. Those aren't artistic flourishes.
It's artistic.
I think... Yeah, I would say maybe a today map isn't a piece of art because it is
just a satellite picture, basically.
Yeah.
Right? But the cartographers of that time, like, had to make it by hand, and like, they added little, like, sea monsters and stuff, you know? Like, they definitely wanted it to be something enjoyable to look at.
I feel like part of it is because they did have to put so much effort into it that they wanted to make it, you know, like that much more. It really was a labor.
There was a point in my life where I wanted a world map in that style.
Old style?
Yeah.
I thought you said that you wanted to be a cartographer. And then you watched Arrested Development and they were like, hasn't that all been discovered by like Magellan and those guys? Anyway, listen. We've put to bed the question of where the Roanoke Island people went, but the question of whether map is art remains unsolved.
So I guess people will have to tune in for the next episode.
We solved that one.
Where we won't talk about it.
Sign up for our Patreon to find the answer.
And also for more bread.
Oh,
Are you going to leave the bread chewing in? I think that'll actually sound gross.
Probably not.
Josh, you put it on there. She does whatever she wants.
I get to make the choice.
You're right.
All right. Well, with that note, Thanks for listening. Go do some art, which could include maps, but don't do any crime. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know if you can tell. I don't know what's going to happen with that editing that moment. But Josh was mid-joke.
Brandon muted me.
Brandon just reached over and muted it.